Hey everyone, welcome to the Breakthrough Entrepreneurs podcast, where we empower both new and experienced entrepreneurs, high performers, business owners to overcome the challenge of work-life balance, burnout, break bad old unhealthy negative habits, behaviors, build new habits, create new rituals, new routines. I'm your host Muhammad Faraj, and today our topic is how to rise from emotional setbacks without breaking your spirit. Have you ever felt ashamed, guilt, disappointed, emotionally sad about breaking your routines, about falling back to your old bad habits, about not being committed to your non-negotiables, to your boundaries, to your constraints? You talk about your goals, but you don't follow along with your goals, with your promises, the promises that you made for yourself and your family and your friends. And you end up feeling stress, regret, disappointed. Emotionally, you feel depleted, drained. You feel like life is not very fun. You feel like life is tough for you. So you get so many negative thoughts, emotions, and feelings after you fall back to your old bad habits, to your old routines. After you slip up with routines, after you skip your morning routine or your evening routine, after you skip going to the gym, doing your workout. I'm sure you're familiar with these habits, with these behaviors, because sometimes when you're working as an entrepreneur and the work wants to occupy your day, your work wants to take all your time, wants to consume all your time, all your energy. You don't want to spend time with your family. You skip going to the gym, doing your workout because you think like, oh, I have energy, oh, I feel productive, or I feel like I could continue working without going to the gym, because you feel like it's not so necessary to go to the gym or do your workout, because you feel like there's more things to do, or you prefer to stay home working and not improving or building your health, your fitness, your muscles. Or you feel like, oh, I have so much to do, so that means I will skip my morning routine, or I will skip my evening routine, or I skip spending time with my friends, with my family, or attending fun activities. Or you tell yourself like, why would I go to the gym? I think doing work is more important going to the gym. Or why would I eat healthy today? I could eat whatever, because as long as I'm working, as long as I feel focused, productive, so that means I'll just eat and consume whatever in my kitchen, because it's not going to affect me today, it's not going to impact my life today or this week. So we ignore the long-term goal, we ignore the long-term health, we ignore the long-term consequences, so we don't commit to our shadow, we don't commit to eating healthy, we don't commit to our morning and evening routines that I always recommend and emphasize how important, how healthy it is to have a morning routine and an evening routine for you as an entrepreneur. In all my episodes, I always talk about this because it's very, very important, and morning routine and evening routine has made a transformation in my own life. So I'm telling you and recommending you from my own experience. It's not that I heard it from somewhere or I got it from somewhere else. It's my own experiment, it's my own experience, it's my own life. So many times we don't commit to our shadow. We block times for our tasks, for our projects. But when it comes to do our routines, when it comes to follow our non-negotiables or constraints or boundaries, we just ignore, we just skip, we just feel like, oh, following my non-negotiables or constraints or boundaries is not very relevant. I think my work is number one above all. It's more important than my relationships with my family, with my friends, or whoever. I think it's more important to do work than doing a workout or fitness training, or you feel like, oh, I don't need to do my workout, or I can skip for today. I think so many times we fall back into these thoughts, into these emotions, and they unfortunately lead us to more feeling overwhelmed, stressed, disappointed, sad emotionally. Why? Because we commit to our shadow, we commit to our routines, to our habits, to our rituals for a while, for 1 week, 2 weeks, for 1 month or 2 months, and then we fall back to our old bad habits, and we are controlled by our feelings about our thoughts. We are controlled about those old patterns that we have built before. So they try to get back to our body. So those bad habits, those unhealthy behaviors, they always try to get back to our life. It's like a program, it's installed in your body. So your job is to remove this program from your body so you can be free, so you can break through in your entrepreneurship life, in your healthy life, in your fitness life, in your relationships life. So at the end of the day, we feel so disappointed because we didn't do our workout, because we didn't train our body, because we didn't listen to our body, because we felt like we could work, we could spend more time working and depleting energy, consuming more time. Why? Just to produce work, just to complete our to-do list, just to do extra work. But we ignore our health, we ignore our relationships, we ignore how important it is to give ourselves, to enjoy life, to enjoy the experience, to enjoy entrepreneurship, to enjoy our relationships, to enjoy and maintain a good, healthy life. So we don't fall back to our good habits. Instead, we fall back to our old, bad, negative, unhealthy routines, and this has some costs to our health, to our productivity, to our focus. So that's why it's very important that we regulate our shadow, that we regulate our tasks, our projects, that we regulate our health, our fitness, that we regulate our sleeping habits. Because so many entrepreneurs, they don't pay attention to their body. They don't fall back to good systems, to effective systems that always lead to a better, healthy, productive day. So we ignore going to bed on time. We don't regulate our sleep. We do it for 1, 2, 3, 4 days. We spend our week sleeping or going to bed on irregular times. So that's why next day the price will be paid, because next day you feel depleted, you feel burnout, you feel tired, you feel exhausted, you feel you're like not, you feel like you're not doing efficient work. Why? Because you didn't commit to your boundaries, to your constraints, to your non-negotiables. You went to bed late, and next day you're not feeling productive. You're not feeling this energy in your body. So what you do is you slip up with your habits. You go back to your old bad habits. You mess up your schedule. A simple task would take you much longer than it usually do. So that's why it's very important that we avoid those bad habits. It's very important that we commit to our shadow, to our non-negotiables, to our constraints, our boundaries, because when we are not doing that, we are basically falling back or going back to our old habits, self, behaviors, routines, and we end up feeling very disappointed, stressed, overwhelmed. I'm telling you from my own personal experience, where I used to fall back to my old bad habits for not committing to my shadow. Because, for example, if it says at 18 p.m. I'm supposed to go to the gym and doing my workout, so I used to slip the time, I used to ignore it. I thought I was doing well for myself. So what happens is I mess up the other tasks or the blocked times on my schedule. So it take me like 20-30 minutes to go to the gym because I'm already late, and then I will mess up all the tasks that is coming after my evening routine. So you end up feeling disappointed, stressed, overwhelmed. So I remember I was feeling emotionally very, very sad. I was feeling emotionally disappointed, overwhelmed. I was telling myself constantly, why couldn't I stick to my schedule? Why couldn't I have discipline? Why couldn't I be consistent with my rituals, with my habits, with my routines? Because it feels like every time I commit to my schedule, therefore it leads to performing good, healthy, positive habits, and I become more efficient and productive and laser focused. I am maintaining a good, positive, healthy life and productive work, and I feel happy, progress achieved at the end of the day. But when you don't commit, when you don't follow your blocked times on your schedule, when you skip your habits, when you don't feel like doing things, you don't want to leave your comfort zone. So what happens is you go back to your old bad habits, and this leads to the same cycle that you used to feel, and you are drifting from your direction, from falling short with your goals. You're not maintaining a good healthy state, because every time you fall back to your old bad habits, when you do a bad, negative, unhealthy behavior, what happens is it impacts your state. So you start to feel negative about yourself, disappointed about life. You feel like life is very hard, or entrepreneurship is very hard. Oh, I should go back to work for people, or from 9 to 5. Maybe entrepreneurship is not something for me. But the thing is, you did bad habits. You didn't commit to your non-negotiables. You're not consistent with your routines, with your schedule, with your habits. So you fall back to your old bad habits. You do a bad habit. You don't want to leave your comfort zone. You don't want to maintain a good, positive, productive, healthy habits. You don't align your habits, your routines, your day with your goals, with your dreams, with your ambitions. So you end up feeling disappointed, worried, anxiety, burnout, and you feel like entrepreneurship is not something for you, or you feel like you're going to fail, or you feel like you're not efficient enough, you're not productive, or breaking bad old unhealthy negative habits is very hard. It takes so much willpower, it takes so much time, energy. But to be honest with you, so many entrepreneurs, they become very successful. Why? Because they focus their time, their energy on habits, on systems, on routines, on rituals. So this is what qualifies them to be successful in their industry, in their business, in their entrepreneurship. This is what leads them to so much achievements, wins, because they stick to their habits, they stick to their schedule. They don't want to regret. Regretting for a particular day or a week where you went back to your old bad habits, or you slip up with your habits, if it repeats for more often, for one more week, one more day, so this will impact your future. It impacts your entrepreneurial life. So many entrepreneurs, they feel disappointed, they feel stuck, stagnant in where they at. It's because they are not maintaining good, healthy habits, routines. They are not coached or mentored by people like me. So when you talk to a coach or mentor about your habits, about your rituals, that individual, that coach, mentor can guide you, can solve your problems, can always help you stay on track, stay aligned with your ambitions, with your goals, with your direction. So many entrepreneurs, they struggle, they have this problem where they go back to their old bad habits, or they don't commit to their non-negotiables, or they think like those non-negotiables are not very important, not very relevant, or they stick or commit to their non-negotiables, to their constraints for a while, and then they forget about them, and then they don't do reflection about their week, about their day, about their month. They don't sit with themselves for one day and ask themselves, why can't I have discipline? Why can't I have commit to my non-negotiables? Why am I constantly sending those goals, those wins? Why am I not committing? Why am I not planning my week? So I don't want you to be this person. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed, stressed, disappointed entrepreneur. I want you to be a healthy, strong, emotionally feeling strong. I want you to be a transformed and new version of yourself, because entrepreneurship feels very fun. It feels very, very enjoyable journey if you are maintaining a good, healthy, balanced life. And that's why so many entrepreneurs, they fail, because they don't listen to their body. They don't listen to their thoughts. They don't work hard enough on their habits. Because if you're not willing to break your old bad habits, that means you are being your old self. That means you're not growing, you're not expanding, you're not making progress, you're not moving forward. But once you become aware about your habits, once you realize that all you need is habits, you don't need to meet a psychologist, you don't need to meet any psychologist about how you feel, about your days, about your life. All you need is to work on your habits, on your rituals, because these are the only challenges that appears in entrepreneurship life. Because the only challenge we have is to work on our habits, our routines, our rituals, our behaviors. That way we're not feeling stuck. We are moving forward. We are making progress. We are progressing. We are growing. We are making wins every week, every month. And this is what we want. We want to make wins. We want to accomplish those goals that we set for ourselves. We want to stay aligned with our ambitions, our promises. So I don't want you to feel disappointed, stressed, overwhelmed, and feeling emotionally sad because you do good habits, you commit to your goals for 1 week, 2 weeks, for a month, and then suddenly you slip up or you drift from your direction and you end up feeling frustrated, disappointed, feeling down. Your energy decreases in your body. You don't feel enthusiastic. You don't feel happy. You don't feel excited about your day, about your projects, about your entrepreneurship life. So I want you to ask yourself every day you wake up in the morning, what am I optimizing for? What is my goal, my biggest goal for the day? What am I trying to achieve for this day? What can I do to meet my daily goal? How can I move closer to my goals, to my dreams? I want you to ask yourself this question in the morning when you wake up. And I want you to ask yourself the second question: what are those habits, those routines, those behaviors that will try to show up in my day? What are the habits, the behaviors that will try to drift me from my direction? They will try to prevent me from being focused, from being productive, from being healthy. What are those habits that will try to stop me or hinder my process from completing those tasks, those projects on my to-do list? I want you to be a crystal clear about your day when you wake up in the morning, because when you wake up in the morning, first thing is you need to be very clear about your day, because your day depends on your morning, and your morning determines the day you will have. If you wake up feeling down, disappointed, low energy, odds are your day will be the same. But when you wake up excited, energized, active, you have done your morning routine, you feel pumped up, you feel energized, excited, I promise you, this is how your day will be. You will be committed that day. No bad habits, rituals, behaviors will try to stop you. So many entrepreneurs, they wake up in the morning, they're not crystal clear about their day, about their week. So it's very easy to fall back to our old bad habits because we didn't plan them, because we didn't ask ourselves questions, we didn't journal. I do journaling every day, and when I'm doing journaling, one of the benefits of doing journaling is I am aware of the habits, of the behaviors that will try to show up, that will try to hinder my progress or staying with the process. And I ask myself, what am I trying to accomplish for the day? Or what am I optimizing for the day? So these are the important questions that you need to ask yourself, because to be honest with you, when you're doing good habits, when you are maintaining a good, healthy, productive, focus, life, habits, you feel empowered, you feel more confident, you feel energized, you feel like there is a hope in life no matter how many times you get self-doubts or anxiety or fear. No matter, you feel energized, you feel empowered, you feel like you can do it. You start to believe in yourself when you see your good habits, when you're performing good healthy habits. So you feel like entrepreneurship is really something for you. You like it, you enjoy it, you love it. And you look at your family, you feel proud that what you're doing today is good for your family, for your life, for your health, by achieving your goals, your dreams. So always remember that when you fall back to your old bad habits, when you're not doing efficient work, when you're not staying or maintaining aligned ambitions, you will feel disappointed, emotionally sad. This happened with me many times. I felt so disappointed, I felt so sad, and when I compared my days where I did bad habits or routines with the good, healthy, positive habits or days, I swear God, I felt so sad. I asked myself, why couldn't I be disciplined? Why couldn't I stay consistent with my habits, with my rituals? Because we don't want to regret in our life. If we regret for each day, each week, each month, this will end up in a big regret at the end of the year. We don't want that. We don't want to live a life with regret. We want to live a life with ambitions, with fulfillment, with happiness, with dreams. We want to feel, talk, think about our goals, about our dreams all the time. We need habits to make those goals, dreams come true. We need to think about the people that we want to serve, that we want to help, the difference that we want to make in the world, the people that we want to help them solve their problems and their struggles. So when we think, when we feel those goals, those dreams, that life, it's very easy to maintain good, healthy, positive, productive habits, routines, rituals. But every time we skip those goals, we skip those thoughts, we skip those feelings, we skip our routines, our habits that we have planned or decided to build in our entrepreneurial life, the regret comes in our life. The disappointment shows up, feeling stress, feeling overwhelmed, which leads to feeling anxiety, feeling feared about the future. So we don't want that. We want to maintain a good, healthy, happy, positive life so we can make wins each week, each month, and reach our goals ultimately. That's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed and got some useful insights, tips from this episode. Please share this content with your friends, with your relatives, with your family, or whoever listens to podcasts. And please, I want you to leave a review on iTunes or Spotify on this episode so I can try to record more episodes to help you break through in your entrepreneurship life so you can achieve success, happiness, and fulfillment in your entrepreneurial life. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and I can't wait to publish a new episode. Bye everyone.